Up, you dudes? Welcome back to another episode here from Men Behind the Mitts, episode 92, coming in at you guys. And let me tell you, this was a great pod. Real excited for you guys to listen to this one. Silk and myself, we open up a little bit about what's going on in our lives, a little bit of depression, definitely talk about how hockey and stuff like that helps curb those feelings. So this is definitely an important episode to me. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. Then we jump right into some NHL highlights, guys, talking about Austin Matthews, Big Poppy breaking the 50, Trevor Zegras busting out another Michigan. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about there. And of course, we do some divisional breakdowns for you guys. So without any delay, here we go. What's a 92? Who's a 92? Oh, we should have recorded that. I'm an idiot. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Welcome back, folks. Episode 92 from Men Behind the Mitts underway here as we were just discussing Kuznetsov. Evgeny Kuznetsov, the king of the Russian gas himself. It looks like you're on some Russian gas right now. You're all right, bud?
We're back.
We're
I'm
back.
excited. I was in the zone. 92. So happy to be here. Kuznetsov. Yeah, I couldn't think of a better player.
Yeah. God, man, as of lately, too. Timeout. We may have to edit this out. Is the microphone on? Did we check that?
I never turn it off. I always just leave it on.
Perfect.
Plug it in. And
Here we go, folks.
Plug it in, you win.
Plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. This is Glade. It's a Glade commercial. Do you like that? Do you like
free
Glades?
ads all the time over
Do
here.
you like plugins? Do you have plugins on the wall?
I have plugins and candles.
I'm a big candle guy.
I have an inventory. If you ever need anything, you let me know.
Do you guys do the oils at all? Like oils and not like easy, like not essential oils, but like Chick likes to put the oils in a little jar
Like a
and put the
diffuser
sticks
type
in there.
thing?
Yeah. You like to do that?
No.
To me, they seem a little overpowering.
I like the candles.
Yeah, because I'm not like a
Especially the ones that when you burn it, it's like wood.
yeah. Oh, like crackle.
Ooh.
I like that.
Cuddled up
nice
with the
thick wood
blankie,
wick. Yeah,
Oreos. But yeah, man, I do both.
I'm a candle guy.
I like a good smelling house. Like
Yeah.
that's one of my things, dude. I vacuum every single day.
Yeah, vacuum
Clean and
important.
dust every single day.
I'm not as good on the dusting.
Yeah, there's some places that I don't do. I do like the obvious shit.
Yeah.
Like I hit the top of the TV and like the stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm not even, I feel like I'm not even home long enough to dust.
Well,
You
see,
know
here's
what I
my
mean?
thing is there's rooms that weren't in that often that are covered in dust.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. So I don't know where that shit comes from. Holy spirits in there hanging out, having
Yeah.
a party without me.
Yeah, we vacuum a shit ton and we shampoo the carpets a lot because we're blessed with white carpets.
Yeah.
So we're always in the dogs, man, they always track in shit. So we're always shampooing the carpet. How the fuck did we get here?
I low key like vacuuming.
Dude, you a Chris Blind guy? I'm big on lines.
It's just so like relaxing for me
Yeah.
to just vacuum.
Yeah, there's a guy I used to work with. I used to send him pictures. Like I'd vacuum my carpet, and then I would send him a picture of it because it'd be like the lines would be so crisp. And he's like, man, I gotta get my wife on that. And I'm like, bro, I'm the same way. I enjoy a good vacuum sesh.
Yeah, there was a TikTok actually that got me good. It was like an ultimate dad mode, and he was vacuuming, and he hit the crisp lines, but then he hit crisp lines this way, and then he just sat down and turned the game on, and you just see the crisp lines. I'm like,
That's like cutting your grass,
bro.
but it's your fucking carpet.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of cutting grass, I'm not ready for the yard maintenance. I hate yard maintenance.
Really?
I'm just not.
I love it.
Bro.
I love it. I love putting down mulch and all that shit, getting the leaves up. And
Here's the thing. I like doing it once. But the maintenance, it's the maintenance for me. All the bushes we have.
Yeah.
The guy who lived here before was retired. So he had the time to invest. And like the only time I have is like the weekend. And the last thing I want to do on the weekend is fucking worry about bushes.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I will get there because I do like to have a nice looking.
But it's also kind of like I enjoy it too because it's kind of like mindless. I can put my headphones in and I can just do it. You know.
And really, see, that's the thing too. Is like when I do it, it really doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
It really flies by if you just have a little.
And you have a sense of pride, like enjoyment
Yeah.
and pride afterwards too.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. All it takes is.
That's how we start out. We're talking about vacuuming and we're talking about yard work.
We talked about a lot of things. Well, this is great. I love. So we record on Mondays. I'm sure you guys know that by now, but Mondays have become like one of my favorite days, like looking forward to, because literally we got a nice skate in. We got to skate around the neighborhood with the green biscuit. Got a good lift in. Ooh, got a good lift in, you know, still feeling the pump, feeling good. And now we get the pod and like just the conversations. It's nice to have good conversation. You know what I mean? It really is. And they were all over the place today, which is great. It's why I truly enjoy our friendship. We're from one end of the spectrum to the fucking other.
I was actually thinking about that today. I was like, man, compared to how we couldn't do what we're doing at the gym. Like the conversations we're having.
Yeah.
And the good thing is like, we don't get caught up just standing there talking. Like we're still working out, having conversations. So I enjoy it as well. Yeah, man. Mondays have turned into a good day. And it's a great way to start off our week.
It is, man. It's start off the week on the right foot. You know, just having the conversation, like you said, you get to air things out, etc. You know, it's good for like yourself. It's good to share the thoughts and stuff. And coming off a great weekend as well. Like we had a great weekend. We had a little surprise party for you and the old lady.
Yeah,
not me, but
shower. Yeah,
a little shower for the next one coming in, and you know, getting to spend time with your family and her family and Cameron. Cam. Sorry, I know you don't talk about him too much, but getting to spend time with him was awesome, man. I really enjoyed, hanging out with him. Helped him build a race car, which was like the highlight of my weekend. Like it really was, man. I got to hang out with this kid and like watching him like he already knew how to use tools because of you, and then me just helping him like, hey, go this way. Like he doesn't know Ready Tidy Love You Lucy yet.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? Like I'm like, hey bud, let's go this way. And then we put, and actually it was funny. Because like Laura was watching me. We had put the wrong tire on the front and rear. Like the tire was big in the front and the tire was small. I was like, hey man, we gotta switch these. He's like, why? I'm like, the big tire goes in the back, bud. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like, okay, like, so just like, and then like seeing him know, like when he grabbed the motor and he was like, the engine. I was like, look at you. Like, I was like, look at you, man. Like it was really cool to have that time, with you guys and your family and stuff like that. Yeah. It means a lot to me. And, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. It was a good weekend. Now we get to do this.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm saying is I'm glad you're back.
Thanks, man. No, it was good for me too, because normally when we do this type of events, I don't really get to enjoy them because I'm playing dad. I got to keep an eye on the little man, make sure he's not getting anything, people aren't just feeding him candy.
Yeah, no,
that type of shit. But yeah, man, every time I'm like, I had that dad alert, I'm talking to somebody, hold on a second, let me check on Cameron.
Right.
And just to look over and you two just laying in the living room by yourself, playing with the car, it was very, it's touching. It was touching.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
I texted you about it, but it's nice to know that I have good people in my life.
Oh, I got a big old gator tear. Like I wasn't kidding. Like I was like, look what Jesse said. And then I was like, yeah, man, just happy to be, a part of your life. And, I love the uncle role. I don't know if kids are in my future. I don't know that yet. Still on the fence, but I love playing the uncle role.
You guys definitely had some good practice. I walk in and, with it being a surprise, everyone's there. Cackley's there and you're holding the baby or she's holding the baby.
Yeah.
And then later you're playing with Cam and I'm just like, these two are ready. I don't know if they want it or not, but they're ready.
Side note, speaking of holding babies, I did elbow a baby.
That happened.
I did elbow a baby right in the head and I felt terrible.
He took it like a champ, though.
He did. He didn't know what was happening, and I was like, "You're fine." I was like, "Your brain's still soft, bud. Like,
don't worry about it.
It's all good." But yeah, we talked it out. He's okay. But yeah, no, it was really fun, man, to have that time. And then it was kind of great. It kind of like led me into today. Like, I don't really do, like we've talked about this. So I don't really do doctors and stuff unless I can't stop the blood or if something's broken.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only time I really.
I'm not a big doctor guy either.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's not like distrust or whatever. It's just I'm just a private person. Yeah, a little bit of distrust as well. But, I'm just private with that type of stuff. But anywho, like I did want to share, and it went great because one of our buddies, Will, shared a post about depression today and about, being able to reach out and stuff like that. And today was actually the first time in my adult life that I went in for a physical. I wanted some blood work. I'm getting older. I'm in the 30s. We got to make sure the old ticker's ticking good. And, I'm a big fella. Got to make sure the body's, working right. Got some blood work done, got a physical done, and I talked to my doctor a little bit about, depression. I don't consider myself someone who suffers severely from depression.
Yeah.
But I do go, and we've talked about this like during the 75 hard and stuff like that, but I do go through like depressive spells, especially after my concussion that I had just in October. It feels like it was forever ago. But October really wasn't that long ago, 4 or 5 months. And and the reason why I brought it up is because I feel like my personality's changed a little bit from the concussion. And I was, starting to read up on that because I just feel differently about different things now. And I don't know, it's not negative, it's not, I wouldn't say it's negative or positive, but I just, my personality's changed a little bit. And I brought that up, to my doctor. And I was like, yeah, I kind of get these spells for a couple of days where the couch looks too good, like I don't lift and I don't want to skate. And, like I do, I didn't even tell you about this. I had a talk with Stevie. I was almost retired from hockey like last week. I almost was like, I'm done. Ever since that two-handed chop, really kind of changed my perspective on beer league hockey and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I got to go to work. I don't have this. I don't get to do the things we do and live the life I live and live in the home I live for me and Chick and the dogs without going to work. Unfortunately, work is a priority. And ever since that two-handed chop, man, my outlook on hockey, especially just locally, has been very different. And I actually talked to the captain of my team that I'm on, and I haven't been since that. I haven't wanted to play. I haven't wanted to play in this league. I want to play in other leagues like St. James and stuff like that. I do want to get involved there just because it's better hockey and stuff like that. But just here locally, it sucks that, this is something that goes on. It happens in beer league hockey. You see it, you just see it on Instagram. Like we see clips and you never think it's going to happen at your rink. It's not, and some people, it might not be that big of a deal to some people. Like I know the guy that it happened to, he hasn't missed a game. He hasn't thought twice about it.
Yeah.
But me seeing that has changed the way I look at things. Cause I don't wear a cage, and what if that was me? What if he caught me in the jaw? And what if I got another concussion? And what if it changed, that could have changed the trajectory of my life.
Yeah.
So it's just something I've been thinking about. And that brings me back to the depression because hockey's my favorite fucking thing in the world. It's like hockey and motorcycles are right. They're 1 and 2, you know what I mean? And hockey's been important to me because of the atmosphere of hockey, the people I've met from different teams and sharing those experiences, the wins, the losses, you know what I mean? And you do that with a team, which is why hockey's always been there for me. It's always been, I don't have any brothers and sisters, so that's like when I find someone like you and Stevie, like you guys are my brothers, you guys are my line mates. I call you guys my line mates, when people ask me like, how's the team going? Like me and the boys, me and the line mates, like I refer to that, we're a family on and off the ice, that means a lot to me. So, and to sideline that, with like these feelings I've had because of that incident, it sucks. It's a shitty feeling. And that was part of it, like why do I not want to do my favorite thing in the world? Like, why do I not want to go play with the boys? Why do I not, So like I brought it up to my doctor and, obviously it's normal. Like, of course I know everyone has, bouts and stuff. That's why I don't say I don't suffer from depression. I'm not trying to minimize anyone, but I just wanted to bring awareness to this. Cause we've only talked about it a handful of times. I haven't told you about this, and not like I was saving it for the pod, but I like to keep it light. Me, I like to have a good time. And, but yeah, man, I just wanted to share it because Will shared a status on Facebook about, being open about depression and reaching out, and man, we have a platform. So why not share my experience, and, but yeah, just talk to her about how I feel and things like that. And I know that when I lift and when I skate and when I play hockey, that shit goes away, So it's just kind of like, and I'm not one to get on meds, I'm not being derogatory about medication by any means. I don't want to take that because I know what can fix it, but I just brought it up and I want other people to know that everyone deals with this. Everyone has their bouts of depression or stress and stuff like that. And stress is something I've really tried to remove from my life. And I'm to the point where I've been removing caffeine from my life because I know some days when I have caffeine, my anxiety and my stress levels are higher than days that I'm not caffeinated. So like there's little things I'm trying to change in my life to even further myself, along whatever path I'm going down. But yeah, man, I just wanted to share that with you and with
it's deep. It's real deep.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, everyone kind of battles with it. I feel like,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've had my moments and I still do. And luckily I have a great partner that, I can talk to her about things, and I've opened up to you about a couple things, last week, we talked for a little bit right after the podcast, it's tough. it's tough because there's so many things going on in today's society that it's hard to just live for pure enjoyment, because you know, a lot of people put their enjoyment in things that cost money and then they're struggling financially, or maybe they put their enjoyment in other people and then they have bad relationships and things like that. It's really tough. And it's really opened me to like the days that I've focused on myself, and you know, I'm still a dad, still a good partner, but the days where I focus on myself and put myself first are better days. When I wake up, instead of going and grabbing my phone, I wake up and step outside, you know, get some fresh air, drink a cup of coffee or not. I've also pulled back. I didn't drink coffee today.
I know, it's wild, right?
So I didn't drink coffee all
weekend.
We are
coffee fucking lovers.
I love coffee.
I usually have 4 bags of different coffee on top of the fridge. Like, I like to keep it fresh, and I'm pretty much almost, you know, I haven't replaced anything. I'm down to the last little bit of this bag. I had 1 cup today. Yeah. You know, that was just kind of like a pre-workout boost before it worked out, you know?
But I'm the same way. Like, and I haven't talked to a doctor because I feel like not like a Mr. Know-it-all here or anything, but I feel like I can usually fix it. Right. A lot of times talking helps. Talk, just even if you're just getting your thoughts that you already know out there and just saying it to someone, hearing it out loud helps a lot. But I'm you know, I'm against prescription drugs too, just because I've seen when it's happened to close friends and things like that. So I really try to find different ways to handle these things myself first before I start going that route as well. And it's tough. It's tough, but from what I've gathered and what I've read is depression is just focusing on things that are in the past and things that we can't change. And then what I've read is anxiety is worrying about things that are coming, the future. And so, and when I think about that, you know, when I come to terms with the fact that I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for those things. Correct. So I just look at all the negatives as a positive. They're just learning curves. And, you know, I can't reflect on like, damn, you know, I had a great paying job. And then I had a great thing going on with, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then I just did this. And, you know, I want to go back to that. Now that I've tried, I can't. And, you know, I can't, you know, it's all leading me to the next big thing.
Yeah, well, it's big. Like, you know, you talk about negatives. I don't really see negatives or L's. Yeah. You know, just lessons. Yeah. You know, like we've all done stuff that we've regretted or, you know, said things. We just, oh shit. Well, now I've learned from that. Let's not do that. Yeah. You know, and if you don't learn from that, that's where you get caught in the cycle. Yeah. And, you know, and just identifying that, number one, is a big fucking step, in my opinion, just identifying that and moving forward. And that's why I do, you know, that's like, you know, a lot of people use social media for the wrong stuff and like that, but I do enjoy watching people grow. I enjoy watching families develop and grow. And, you know, it's cool, you know, and I'm not saying it, you know, that you have to share that shit. You don't have to, because I'm pretty private. I usually just share jokes and BS stuff on Facebook. And, you know, I shared this one because it felt right, because it's how I feel. It's how I felt today. You know, and I wanted everyone else to know, like, look, man, and everyone knows me as a happy-go-lucky guy, but look, there's not always rainbows and fucking sunshine, you know, some there are dark days and things like that, but that's part of life, and how you come out of that and how you treat other people and how you treat yourself is a big deal. Mm-hmm. the way I see it. You know, medication is needed for some people. I know that there's true imbalances, you know, when it comes to depression and anxiety and stuff like that. I get that, you know, but at the same time, I feel like I am blessed enough to where I know what it makes me feel better. Yeah. You know, and I even know when I'm in a rut, I'm like, motherfucker, why are you doing this to yourself? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I acknowledge it, why it's happening. And it's like you said, that couch, that comfort zone is so hard to rip yourself out of. And it's there. You know what I mean?
It's like a safety. It's like a safety net for
absolutely. You. And who doesn't want to be safe? Who doesn't want to have a bowl of mashed potatoes with extra gravy and sit on it? You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't want to have the comfort food? Who doesn't want to have the comfort blanket? You know, like, who doesn't want that stuff? Yeah. Cuddle up with the dogs. They don't want you to go anywhere. Yeah. You know, like it's hard to break that. It's hard to break that. But once you address it and once you recognize it, man, moving forward, there's nothing that feels better than getting out of that.
Yeah. And for me, it's when I notice I'm able to hit that light switch, like, dude, you're better than this. Come on. Right. And then I'm able to like, just put the phone down, stand up, and I just go do something that's more productive. Even if it's just as simple as taking the trash out or folding some laundry or something like that. And, you know, it's so everybody's different, you know, for me, as I've gotten older and started to deal with my things and tried to mature and having a family and things like that, I listen to motivational speeches. Right. Some people may say it's corny and whatever. I don't care. That's my thing. I wake up, I put this on and it's empowering to me and I can move forward. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I hear these words and it makes me realize, you know what, I am capable of so much more than I let myself believe sometimes. So yeah, dude, you know, more power to you for taking that step. That's huge.
Yeah. And I'm big, just what you just said. Thank you. Not to sideline that, but thank you. And then, yeah, man, people are capable of so much more than what they think they are. We hold ourselves back a lot. Just as people, as humans, like we have a lot of potential. Different people,
growth is outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to grow unless you're, do you think a tree just grows? You know what I mean? No, it forces it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, people that are always talking about how they want this, they want that, but they're not willing to take the steps to do things to get those things. They just want it to come to them. You gotta step outside your comfort zone a lot. And it's rewarding. It's scary, but it's rewarding.
Very much so. I agree. And that's the thing is a lot of stuff will come, as scary as it is, a lot of good stuff will come from that.
Yeah. It's like, let's relate it to hockey because we're going to be jumping into that. It's like, if you never take that risk to go to tryouts because you're too scared, or you don't make the team the first time and you just give up on what could have been.
Yeah.
And I like to tell people, there's actually someone on Silky, a kid was, messaging me, hey, I've got a game today. Wish me good luck. And I did. And then I was like, enjoy the moment and then grow from it. Yeah. You didn't win, learn from it. And he texted me this day, hey, you're right. I took that mindset. We won today. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, exactly. You got to keep moving forward. And that's really what it's all about. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
And being able to identify that and being able to learn. Like, that's what I like, when you reach out. Well, it's okay. So what did you do differently in today's game?
Mm-hmm.
What could have you done differently?
Yeah.
How was your attitude? Were you excited to play?
Exactly.
Were you nervous? Were you looking? So that brings you back to like an old sports analogy. Something I remember being a kid and you'd be skating and you'd be looking at the other team. And you're like, oh, that guy's big. Oh, that kid looks fast.
Or worrying about they're worrying about they're thinking about you because you made a move and it wasn't successful. Now they're chirping you and you're like, oh, I'm not that good.
Nope.
Yeah, I've been there. It happens.
And once you get past, and that's just part of growth, unfortunately, growth and confidence, and that comes through more time. Yeah, see, Ovi didn't get here by accident. But when you address those things and when that becomes secondary, not even a thought, and you focus on your gameplay and how you're going to set up your team, or if you make a bad pass, now that next pass is going to be better. And that's like negative self-talk. A lot. Like I see that a lot, even in pros. You'll hear pros come to the bench like, oh, I fucking suck. Like, dude, like that, now you're gonna suck, but if you have that mentality where you come and, a coach doesn't need to rip into you for you to understand. Like I learned that because we came from the generation of get yelled at.
Yeah. And I didn't learn that way, unfortunately. It was tough for me.
I did worse when people yelled at me.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh my God. The spotlight's on you. The coach is reaming your ass.
Just focus on your negatives. Where next time that guy comes to the bench, hey, bud, next time try this. It was a great idea, but next time try this. Yeah. Or keep your head up. That's a big thing when you see a guy with his head down, skating with his head down, etc. Now to uplift each other because when that vibe is there, when we talk a lot about that in hockey, when you're having it's hard to beat a good bench. When the boys are clicking and the bench is happy, it's hard to beat a good bench. It's easy to beat a negative bench when teammates are yelling at each other. It's easy to beat that team. So and that just kind of just moves right into life, and that's why I love sports. You know what I mean? Like that was an anchor in my childhood was hockey and motocross, BMX, and stuff like that. Like having that and learning those lessons to make your next game better. Yeah. Even to make the next period, the next shift better. Yeah. So that definitely focusing on what you did right versus what you did wrong.
Yeah, you can't stress the mistakes because even pros make mistakes.
Absolutely.
But going back to kind of what you're talking about with depression and then now it's sports, like that's been my release. That's where I'm able to be mindless and just go do my thing and have pure enjoyment, and I can escape from all my problems while I'm on the ice. And I kind of have had those little slumps since moving back because I went from skating 4 to 5 times a week to now I haven't skated in the last 2 weeks, and I don't have that release. I don't have that thing to go to now. And it's forcing me to find other things. And I found myself, Sunday I had a little spurt in the morning and I went outside and just enjoyed sat in the front yard and read. Right. I'm just trying to grow and find different things that I can, because, you can't always rely on the one thing. I can't if I don't play hockey, I'm depressed. Yeah. I can't rely on those type of things, and that's what it was for me. If I didn't lift that day or if I didn't play hockey that day, I was kind of bummed out, I didn't have that. So finding different things that work for you.
Yeah. It's important. It's very important.
Man, we are just,
but that's what you need. Some people need that, and that's why I'm a private person, man. I hate sharing, but this, like, for whatever it is, this podcast just brings out the best of us. I really feel like that. Like, I don't care if 10 people listen or 1,000 people listen. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if one person can listen to this pod today and be like, holy shit, look what Jay and Silk did, or this is how they feel, maybe I can try that, and that's what it's about. And that's how we get better as people. We learn from each other. We grow with each other, but yeah, man. So moving forward, Thank you for letting me, get that off my chest. And I feel better. Like just even having that conversation with the doctor, I felt better.
Yeah.
Just because because you feel that bit of normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I know everyone goes, like we always say, I know everyone goes through it.
Yeah.
But, to see someone else look at you and be like, hey, it's okay. Yeah. I get you. I understand you. And especially having someone like you and Steve in my life, my chick and my partner, it makes life easier.
It's all about the circle, and that kind of goes back to like you were talking about where you weren't enjoying hockey. It's because you were in a league that wasn't necessarily beneath you, but you weren't playing with your closest friends. You weren't playing with guys that were the best locker room atmosphere because of whatever XYZ.
Correct.
So yeah, it's all about who you surround yourself with in every single aspect of your life.
Yeah.
You could hate your job because who you work with and go do the same exact job for less pay with people you enjoy being with and enjoy your life so much more, right?
I agree, dude.
Yeah, so
I absolutely agree. All right, well, we've got a lot to cover. That was good. Felt good to have that little therapy
we need
session
those
here.
little talks. We haven't had one of those in a while.
It's good. Well, we had some deep talks in the garage gym today, so it felt right. Everything just felt right today. But let's go ahead and jump over into hockey, guys. We'll got some stuff to talk about. First, I just want to jump right in. Let's talk about Poppy. Let's talk about Austin Matthews. Broke the 50 goal mark on the season. He's on a next level this year, bro.
Yeah.
He continues to get better and better every year. He's settling into the hockey player he was destined to be.
Yeah, I mean, even John Cooper of Tampa Bay Lightning's head coach saying that it's not unrealistic that if this guy continues to grow at the pace he is, that he'll have a 70-goal season.
Yeah.
And to hear a head coach, two-time, Stanley Cup champion who has guys like Kuznetsov and Stamkos playing underneath of him, to say that's huge. I mean, and as much as we want to applaud Poppy, it's crazy to think that Leon Draisaitl's right on his ass at 50.
Dude, it's yes. So we got just talk about top goals real fast. Austin Matthews at 51, Draisaitl's at 50, Chris Kreider at 46. I mean, it's incredible to think about it. Ovechkin back here at 42. Connor Keelan, 41.
Kyle Connor, yeah.
Kyle Connor. Why did I say Keelan? Oh, we play hockey with Connor Keelan.
Yeah.
That's weird. Shout out to my boy Keelan. It's been a while, man.
Connor McDavid over there at 40, then
40. Yeah,
Kiprusoff at 39. It's a tight top 10. He's tied with DeBrincat, Pasta at 38, tied with Forsberg, who's had a career year down in Nashville. And the fact that he's going to be moved, that's a stud. If somebody's looking for a goal scorer, there you go. Mikko Rantanen, 35, tied with Matt Duchene also and up there. So, yeah, dude, a lot of great goal scorers. And if you look just outside of that, the names are unreal. Barkov at 33, Goudreau 32, Matthew Tkachuk 32, Steven Stamkos 32.
Matthew Tkachuk. A lot of people throw shade at Tkachuk. You know what I mean? And that's a grinding fucking player right there, man.
Yeah,
he earns his and I'm not saying that these guys don't earn their points, but that is someone who earns their points.
He's not to. I wouldn't make too much of a comparison here, but it's kind of like. As we've watched Tom Wilson grow, he has that aspect to be a goon, can play the body, can throw the fist, but he's also a beauty. We see Matthew Tkachuk has almost perfected between the legs. The plays he's able to make is he's a goal scorer and a tough goon at player at the same time. That's huge. Yeah, and that's somebody that you don't get that too often.
Yeah, and we talk about the future of hockey a lot, and this brings up the next guy. Players like Tkachuk, Wilson, these guys are going to be the future of hockey. They have all the dimensions, the physicality, they able to score goals, they have the assists,
the heart,
and they can also fight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's one big dimension of hockey moving forward, right? And then you have someone like Trevor Zegras coming into the league, doing things, scoring Michigans on. That I'm sure he just scored another one just last week.
Yeah, which had some controversy with that in that game.
Yeah,
if you want to talk about
we'll talk about it in a second, but let's stick to Zegras first. So I just want to break down that play. So for those of you who don't know, a Michigan is when you come from behind the net and you literally pick the puck up on your stick, throw it in the net, right? Mm-hmm. So coming down, Zegras gets a rebound in front of the net. First off, goes through his legs to put the puck back onto the net, right? Then he gets his own rebound again. Full speed in motion, picks it up, Michigan.
Around his own guy.
And he saw it, and you see him get skinny because he knew it was coming. He knew it was coming. This is something that Zegras works on in practice. This is something where in the juniors tournament, you saw him staying on the ice for 45 minutes longer than everyone else, working on his hands. This is someone who is dedicated to his craft. He wants to be the best. And he's so young, and he's changing the game in the NHL already. But hats off to him. incredible goal. That now you just have another dynamic to look out for.
Yeah,
you know?
and there's a lot of old school naysayers saying there's no room for that in the game and blah blah blah. But let's break it down and let's go back a couple years into where the curl and drag was looked at as fancy.
Right.
Nah, there's no place for that in the game. That's too fancy. He's showboating. Now look at that. That's standard. That's standard.
Yeah.
Same thing was the backhand toey.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's showing off. Blah blah blah. Standard.
Yeah.
The
through the leg.
This is just the way the game has grown to where finesse is a much more larger attribute in the game. It's not just pass, shoot. You know, the game is much faster and more physical to where you have to have that finesse, that swagger, that silky mitts.
Yeah, especially because when those guys, they play a lot of one-on-one hockey. When you've got that speed, you're playing one-on-one hockey.
Yeah, you're breaking down into zones. It's you versus your guy in the corner. You got to be able to make those moves. Your team isn't always going to have a man that's open.
Exactly, the outlet isn't always there, and that's what we've talked about. Hockey's just gotten better and better every season. Another name. And this year there's been so many. Personal record-breaking stats for guys, like
career years for guys.
That's the word. Thank you. I was struggling there. Career season for guys, goal-wise, assist-wise, points. Time on ice.
Yeah, Chris Kreider, we just mentioned with the goals, career year. That's huge. And the crazy part is, these guys. We don't know if we'll see him do that again.
Right?
That's wild.
And that's what makes someone like Ovechkin special. Is he's able to do this year in, year out. He's literally chasing down the great one. You know what I mean? And for him to constantly put up 40-goal seasons, 50-goal seasons, that's a big deal. That just doesn't happen.
Yep.
And a lot of people, and it's wild, especially where we live, in the DMV area. People think he's just the GOAT. Look, I'm not taking anything away from Ovechkin, but he's far from the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like he's
GOAT to me is more than just a goal scorer.
Yeah, man, and that's what I mean. And we talk about the Capitals post Ovi a lot. It's going to be a different team. I think it's going to be different in this area. Like it's going to be a different hockey.
There might, depending on how bad it gets, it could be a fall to where all that Ovi's built kind of diminishes.
Yeah,
because a lot of people that came in post Ovi didn't go through what we went through as Caps fans of watching them just get the shit beat out of them year after year after year.
13, 14 years of playoffs. We only have one cup, and I'm glad we got it when we did. But we've had every year we're making the playoffs. Might be first round knockout, second round knockout against New York. It's always been playoffs. This area doesn't know losing yet. For these post-Ovi fans,
for the next generation, like the young kids that are growing up around here wearing the Ovi jerseys, for sure, they haven't experienced the woes.
No playoffs. We haven't had woes, and the last two seasons have kind of been that way. Last year, battling with COVID, all the injuries. This year, again, injury plagued. The goalie situation, dear God, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, man, it's definitely been changing nonstop. But I do want to jump back into points real fast. We did touch on Connor McDavid leading the league at 105 points. And it's so crazy that the two points leaders in the league are on the same team. Mm-hmm. Connor McDavid at 105, Leon Draisaitl at 101. How fucking crazy is that? Like
it's unreal. It's unreal. To me, the real eye opener is Jonathan Huberdeau at 97. Yes. He's sitting in third. He's coming up there. You got Gaudreau at fourth at 92, and then Poppy at 88. But Huberdeau, I think, is one of the most underrated players in the league because of that.
Yeah, he really, dude, 73 assists. Yeah. You talk about an apple man setting his team up. And look, that's that Florida Panthers squad. They're a dangerous squad. To me, they're definitely cup bound this year. They will be competing for the Stanley Cup, in my opinion. Don't know if they're going to win it, but I'd like to keep it on the East Coast just because, if we can't have it, I want someone on the East to have it,
Yeah, but, and just looking at these stats, we just talked about Matthew Tkachuk. He's seventh in points in the NHL at 84, and his teammate Johnny Gaudreau at 92 at fourth. And then you got Connor McDavid and Leon 1-2. That just makes for a better league too, because now that battle of Alberta is so much more intensified with that much skill and superstars on the ice at one time.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it, and I'm here for it, man. So continually just getting better. I do want to talk about going into the playoffs, something that kind of just gets, I feel like it's not as big of a point as it should be. Mm-hmm. Face-off percentages.
Yeah.
The
huge face-offs are huge.
It is. Getting possession of the puck, especially in the offensive zone, is a game changer. If you're not winning faceoffs, man, you're always playing catch up. You're always playing shit. We got to get it again, you know. And to see Patrice Bergeron 62% as the most active forward, 62%. My money's on him every time. You know what I mean? And they just recently started putting that up on games on the network, where when you've got two centers like that going against each other, they started putting percentages in the bottom right corner. Big fan of that. It's a fun stat to know, and it makes the game more interesting. Now you know more about that player.
Yeah,
you know?
I wish they would have more analytics on this. A lot of times, some of these announcers, depending on who you're watching, even in DC, they get kind of sidetracked.
Yeah,
and I wish we could stay more analytical and educate people on the game more. But yeah, dude, and it's crazy to think that Washington had a stud for a while too with Jay Beagle. He was one of the best face-off guys in the league, and it's crazy how it bounces around. But you really do control the game on face-offs, whether you're in the offensive or defensive zone or the neutral zone.
Yeah,
the face-offs are huge and can change a game. We just saw the other night Dallas pulls the goalie in the offensive zone, wins the face-off, ties the game up.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. You got to be able to win faceoffs. If you can't win faceoffs, the same as on fucking Shell too. If you're playing Xbox, if you can't win a faceoff in Shell, you're getting your ass whooped because now he has possession and he's just going to maintain possession. So it's huge.
It's also a crazy thing. I'm just throwing this in there because of who we are in the top 25. Not a single capital.
No, well, I mean, the Caps are 28th in the league at 47% on faceoff wins. The crazy part, though, is two of the best teams in the league are right under them. 29, Avalanche, 30, Wild.
Wow.
That kind of blows my mind. Even the Arizona Coyotes and Senators and Canadians have better faceoffs than those two teams.
And that'll come to show in playoff time. Like, faceoffs in playoff time is a big deal, especially, like you said, late in the game, down by one. You have the confidence to pull your goalie, like you just said, had that sixth man in the, now you have a better percentage opportunity to keep the puck in the zone.
Yep.
So that's definitely going to change some stuff around. Before we jump into divisional breakdowns, let's talk about that Zegras goal one more time, because Jay Beagle acted out upon that, right? They were down by 5.
The young guys were kind of what some people are saying, showing off.
Right.
But to me, finesse is part of the game, and I think if you downplay your game because you're beating a team, that's more offensive. We start taking it easy on you because we're up. No, keep playing our game. We're going to keep playing our game. Exactly. Foot's always on the gas. And Beagle taking offense to that and going after Zeke. Troy Terry, not a fighter, steps up, and he got his ass whooped. He got his bell rung by Beagle. And Zegras was saying that, he thinks he should be punished. Going after Terry while he was down and things like that.
Well, especially with Terry having his gloves on, there's, like I said, we got to follow that code.
He almost got jumped.
Yeah, he did get jumped, because if you look at the original photo, Beagle hit him twice before he even had his gloves off.
Yeah.
He definitely got jumped. And I understand losing sucks. Sometimes you have to have that fight to change momentum, but jumping a guy is not the way to do it.
A time and a place, especially as a professional, and to
look,
let your emotions get the best of you out there as a professional.
And look, I'm a Beagle fan, okay, a former Capital, but Beagle knows what it's like to get his ass beat. Asham, former Penguin, laid him the fuck out. Two of the cleanest right crosses I've ever seen in my life, when he was asleep like a baby, ass up in the air, face on the ice.
Yeah.
And to see, and I mean, obviously you're not thinking about that moment, but that's something I remember watching that fight and be like, dear God.
Yeah.
Like, he was out. Like, he didn't come back that game.
He went like this.
Yeah.
After he whooped his ass, he skated to the penalty box.
Yeah, he didn't come back that game. I think he even missed one or two after that. I mean, he got his fucking bell rung.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
It's tough to see players do stuff like that when they know what can be done.
Yeah, and he brings a little bit of a vet presence for that Arizona Coyote team. And, he wanted to stick up for the guys, but there's a time and a place, and I think too little too late and over-aggressive.
It's frustrating. You're on a losing squad. You're literally going down to a college arena next year. It's tough. There's a lot of feelings on the Arizona squad, so I get it. I get where the anger comes from, but again, you got to have a place and time for this.
Yeah, that's a whole conversation right there with the Arizona Coyotes. We talked about it before, It just blows my mind that these guys are going to be playing in that arena and everything that's happening. At what point do we draw the line in the sand and say, hey, it's not working here?
Yeah.
And we give someone like Quebec another chance.
Yep.
Somewhere where there's a better market. I mean, we have how many teams in California?
Yeah.
We got how many teams in New York? Like, there, let's make a move here.
Yeah, clearly it's not the market. You know what I mean? When you're
even Dallas is doing better.
Yeah.
Somewhere you wouldn't think, or even the Florida Panthers, look the way they've been able to turn around. They couldn't even fill the seats. You know what I'm saying? And
now they're a cup-bound team, and now they're finally getting packed.
It's
hard when hockey's not even a top 5 sport. in the States. And,
Yeah.
and especially with how hockey's going, like how does everyone not love this? I just want to take everyone to their first game, and be like, oh, I'm hooked, like it's great. Like Chick always puts hockey on when she's at the bar, and people get lost in it because they don't watch it, but it's because they're there.
There's so much
And
action.
they look
so
at it,
fast.
you're like, oh my God, they're fighting, they're hitting, they're scoring. And when you see it, like almost every goal is a sensational goal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's just a toe drag shot, it's an absolute fucking laser.
Or a battle for a rebound, even.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I love the best thing about my favorite part about the game is there's no like stoppages.
It's fast.
Face-offs, yeah, but it's not like football where there's a one play and you try again, one play.
You can watch and then talk.
Or baseball, or pitch. It's always fast paced.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we literally have 3 phones set up, watching 3 different games, watching the TV, and we're talking to people without looking at them, because if you look away, you miss a goal.
Yeah,
you miss a goal, you miss a hit, you miss a penalty. It's crazy. It's such a fast thing, and it's got 110% of my attention.
Yeah, I'm sure people look at us like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We show up to the bar and we happen at the restaurant too. We pre-gamed at the restaurant. It's a sports bar. There's TVs everywhere. And where are we? All of our phones set up on the table watching hockey games.
And then immediately, big shout out to Scott over at Foster's, walks right up. Well, Mandy saw us. She saw us with the phones, and Scott was like, what channel is it? Immediately changed 3 TVs for us. Those guys are beauts, because they it's great to have those relationships. And exactly, walk into the bar, Chick's already got hockey. All you have to ask, it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, man, I wish more people would get into it. I understand it's kind of a boys club, like hockey and stuff like that. But man, hockey is
expensive too. As far as the playing aspect.
Yeah.
And so like if you didn't grow up playing, a lot of people, that's where it starts for them with sports, is as a kid, so that's why football and baseball and basketball, those things are easy, because not a lot of money it costs to do those things.
Yeah, it's not
you can go up to your elementary school and shoot some hoops. You don't need your own hoop, things like that.
Yeah, no joke. But yeah, man, all right, let's jump over into these divisional breakdowns for you guys. We're going to start with the Atlantic, where Florida is still holding that number 1 spot, 102 points, 48 wins on the season. Toronto right behind them with 93 points. Tampa Bay Lightning there in 3rd with 93, so we got a tie there. And Boston holding that 4th spot with 91. Then we fall off pretty hard to the bottom 4, 61 points there. So the Atlantic's pretty much set as far as who's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Florida looks like they're going to hold that number 1 spot, and there might be some bouncing around between the 2, 3, and 4. But look, those guys are in. It's pretty much sealed the deal there, and that's going to be an exciting division to watch. My eyes are on that division for sure.
Yeah, and they're making it tight for the wild card too.
Yeah.
We got Boston and Washington there on the outskirts looking in, and you got the Islanders. I know that's a different division, but it's all affected by the others, and it's going to be a tight run to the end. But the Atlantic Division is one of the most, I think, one of the better divisions coming around. They really are giving the Metropolitan Division a run with the way Florida has really bounced back. Tampa Bay's still there, and Boston's been on a tear lately.
Yeah, absolutely. Boston's really turned it on after the new year, man. They've really come on.
Yep.
110%. We're talking about Patrice Bergeron with that face-off win percentage. Marchand doing Marchand things. So that's a solid squad. They're definitely going to be a playoff contender. For sure. Yep.
Definitely agree with you there. And it's crazy to see the way it falls off, 91 at 4th place, and then 5th Detroit at 61.
Yeah, it's wild.
30 point difference there. That's a lot of games.
Yeah, you can't make that up now.
No.
Literally, they have to win out, and Boston have to lose every game.
Yeah. But, I think there's a lot to be said about these teams. I think Detroit and Buffalo, even Ottawa, are trending in the right way.
Absolutely.
They're going in the right direction, especially we talked about it before. Buffalo has really come around and been tearing it up here as of late.
Yeah, like you just said, Detroit, Buffalo, and Ottawa. I'm a big fan of Ottawa. Love Brady Tkachuk down there. I want to see that team do more.
Yeah.
Got Stutzel down there. He's still developing. Still, he's going to become. I'm telling you, that name's going to be said more and more as the year goes on. So as the years go on, but Ottawa, I think, is going to be someone to be reckoned with. Buffalo, like you said, coming on as of late, going to be an interesting shape up in the next couple seasons in that division. Let's jump over to the Central, where we got Colorado holding that number 1 spot, 104 points. Minnesota behind them at 91 in 2nd. St. Louis hold on to that 3rd spot at 86. Nashville, as of right now, with 82. And this is where it gets tight in the Central. Dallas at 81. Winnipeg at 76. That 4th spot, that 3-4 spot is going to be a battle to the end, man. And these teams are going to be coming on late. Dallas really coming on late. Winnipeg really changing up the second half of the season. So I mean that bottom crunch is going to be real. We know Colorado. A lot of people called them expected to win the cup from even when the season started.
Yeah, well, and it's going to be tough. We talked about Corrado. It's kind of like it's up to them, obviously, but their goaltending really hasn't been the best. Kemper over there with a 2.37 goals against.
Yeah.
And I really don't see it getting much better going into the playoffs. So
right.
they're going to really have to try to outscore teams and block a lot of shots.
Yeah.
To really make it to the end.
And and we talk a lot about playoff hockey. I mean, it's only going to get faster. It's going to get harder. I mean, literally, you're taking the best top 4 teams from each division and cramming them into one. So it's going to be a tight race this year, I think, with Colorado.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with this run with Winnipeg and Dallas on who's going to make it, who's out. Dallas also not having the best goaltending as of late. Oettinger with a 2.49, Holtby at 2.78, and Holtby was injured for a while too. But they've got some good goal scorers.
Dobie was out early in the season.
Exactly.
So, I mean, they haven't had much luck there in Dallas. They were battling the COVID there in the beginning of the year, and now some goaltender woes here later in the year.
Exactly. When you don't have Ben or Sagan in your top 3 scoring, you think the positives, right?
Yeah.
But they got Robinson over there with 32 and Hintz with 30. Pavelski's still tearing it up at his old age with 25. But you got to have guys like Ben and Sagan also producing as well. They got some good, decent defensive core, but we'll see how it goes. If I had to bet, I'd put my money on Dallas making it over Winnipeg at this point.
Ooh, I like that. And Nashville, they're only 1 point, 1 point lead in Dallas. That's a tight run there in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be one of the battles to watch as we get down to the wire here. Big goal differential though between Nashville and Dallas. Looks like 24. Well, I'm sorry, no, it looks like 24 goal difference. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
Goals against and goals for. They really don't play and matter until a lot of people say it doesn't matter, but man, you get later in the season, teams putting up 4 to 6 goals a game, and you're letting in 3 to 4 goals a game. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a tough battle there. Nashville though has also been on a tear. St. Louis though is the surpriser. There's kind of a squeaky clean.
Yeah, man, they're just
in
solid
there.
St. Louis hockey. It's weird.
Yeah,
they've got a solid lineup over there. Not much has changed from their Stanley Cup run.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're definitely a contender. They might be slept on just because they're cruising right in third. Who knows?
Yeah, Tarasenko was out with an injury. Kyrou was out. Everyone's dealt with injury battles every year. It happens. But they've managed to maintain a good position, a good seat. And a lot of times it's the guys that you're not really focusing on, like a St. Louis, that can come in and really make a good run.
Yep, absolutely. Let's jump down to the Pacific real fast. Calgary, I feel like is just I feel like for them to hold on the number 1 spot at 89 points, they're not being talked about. They're really not. And they've had guys that are having breakout seasons, Magna Pane, Giroux, Johnny Hockey over here, and they're having killer seasons for these guys.
Yeah, and Markstrom's at a 2.9 at goals against the percentage. That's huge. And like you just said, guys are playing well. Lindholm, 34 goals. Gaudreau, 32. Kachuk, 32.
Yeah.
Their points leaders, Gaudreau, Kachuk, and Lindholm as well. So that's huge for them.
And then we got LA following in a close second here at 86. Edmonton down in third at 85. Vegas holding on to that 4th spot at 82. Kind of falls off to Vancouver, but look, Vancouver's at 74 points. I don't know if Brucey's got enough to gas him up, to squeeze him this wild card spot. They might have the opportunity to get it done, but Vancouver's really come on as of late as well.
Yeah, and I really want to jump back up here to LA.
Yes.
LA has really been able to, they've really surprised me. They don't have any, huge goal scorers that are really running away with goals that are making a run for the Rocket or anything like that. But their goaltending has been pretty decent.
Yeah.
You got Sparks at a 1.85 on goals against save percentage. So that's huge. That's really kept them in the battle. Kopitar, though, with 59 points, Kempe 45, and Denault at 42 coming over from Montreal. That's also been huge. Drew Doughty with 24 assists. So they're getting a little bit from everyone, and that's huge. It's really kept them in that running. And like I said, you asked me at the beginning of the year, I would not have had LA in the top 4, even the top 5 in this division, just based off, the way things have gone for that organization.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vegas is kind of on a downhill trend right now, and Vancouver can turn it around. Who knows what happens there?
Yeah, then Vegas they've got their own woes. They got some injuries going on there, some cap space issues that they were dealing with.
Yeah, then Robin Leonard comes back and takes a shot in practice from Eichel and gets hurt. You know, it's just been one thing after another for that organization. And you kind of feel like they're all the things they've done since they've come in, they're kind of at a breaking point where maybe all just falls right flat in their face.
And we talked about this when Vegas became Vegas. They built a team to win the cup immediately.
Yeah.
They didn't build to grow. They built a cup to win, and they built a team to win, which is why they were battling cap space issues and these different things and holding on to guys that maybe they shouldn't have, you know, getting like tossing Fleury to the fucking Wolves. You know, they've made some really weird decisions already for being a new team.
But they've had guys that have come over to the organization and really excelled. Marshall, Riley Smith, those guys have really stepped it up.
They've snagged some good players and the guys that they can build a foundation with.
Yeah. So, but you're kind of just waiting for that breaking point because, like you said, they've since day one been trying to win, and we all know that only lasts for so long before you're on the outskirts looking in trying to rebuild.
Absolutely. Let's jump up to the favorite division over here, guys, the Metropolitan, where Carolina Hurricanes are holding on to the number 1 spot at 98 points. New York Rangers are solidified in that second spot at 94. Pittsburgh with 92. Caps holding on to that wild card spot at 84 points. And you've got, the Islanders as of late coming on 73 points. I wouldn't count them out yet, especially the way the Capitals have been playing. This could be a scare for the Capitals, in my opinion. But let's jump back up to the top real fast and talk about Carolina. Again, to me, another slept-on number 1 team. The Carolina has been nothing but consistent. These guys, Aho, Svechnikov, having top-tier seasons. It's incredible.
It's Freddie Anderson for me when we talk about the Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, we know they have the skill up front. A huge signing of Tony DeAngelo on the blue line. That's been great. He's really been a stellar player since coming over from the Rangers. But Freddie Anderson, since coming over from Toronto, I think has just really blossomed over there. Rantanen backing him up too.
Yeah.
But Freddie's at a 2.03. Ranta's at a 2.39. You need great goaltending going into the playoffs, and Freddie's really shining here. Getting out of that Toronto bubble has really been great for him.
Yeah, he really. It's hard to think that Toronto let him go. You know, they made the moves that they did, but he's come down to here. He's blossomed in the Carolina organization. 2.03. I mean, that's got to be one of the best active starting goaltender goals against that.
Yeah, other than the Los Angeles Kings who we just talked about with Sparks.
It's
1.89,
right?
And then we got Shesterkin. We start going down the lineup. We start talking about goaltending. You cannot ignore Shesterkin. Actually, goals against, it's Freddie Anderson, then Shesterkin. That just lets you know how tough it is to play in the Metropolitan Division.
For sure.
Shesterkin also number 1 in save percentage. Number 2, Freddie Anderson at 9.28. Igor's at 9.33. So the goaltending has been huge in the Metropolitan, and that's really the game changer. Well, we've talked about this before. When it comes to hockey teams, you really got to start in your crease and build out. A lot of guys want to rely on a superstar like Ovi and things like that, but we see what's happening. Ovi can't do it all by himself, especially when you got guys like Vanacek, who's supposed to take him to the playoffs and is on a 1-4 run right now.
Oh my God, his goals against are over.
Minnesota tore up Washington the other night.
Before we jump into the Capitals real fast, let's talk New York again. They're really making waves. I think New York is going to make some big waves here in this playoff run. Guys, that team is buzzing. Kreider, Fox, their goaltending is stellar right now. And they're all around. They're a wrecking crew. They're all around a wrecking crew. We talked a little bit last time about how Ryan Reeves has kind of helped that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not big on the points, but big on the attitude. You know, helping those boys relax when you got someone like that who you know is going to have your back, who you know is going to be there for you. You know, not seeing a whole bunch of time, but he's valued on that squad for sure.
Yeah,
I think he found a home there.
Yeah, I think him coming over is he brings a veteran experience, but he's a joker. He likes to have fun, and that's a fresh vibe for the locker room. You got all these stars with all this pressure on them. They don't have a captain, those type of things that they went throughout the years, the different coaches, blah, blah, blah. And so to see now that they have kind of all the missing pieces coming together is huge. And we got to talk about Fox. I mean, this kid is the next level. And it's crazy to talk about because when you talk about great defensemen, you talk about Brian Leetch, also a former Ranger. So it's crazy to see that the Rangers, you know, kind of sticking to their scouting for a while in the similarities of another great young D-man.
Can't agree more with that, dude. And then, you know, Pittsburgh was
got to talk about Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh slept on early in the season. Gino's back. Crosby's doing Crosby things. You know, the squad is there.
Crosby at 72 points. Gitzel at 68. And Letang with 60. Yeah, I think he's leading the team with 32 goals. That's huge for him.
Yeah.
And then we talk about their goaltending, and you kind of have to question what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yari was an NHL All-Star. He's got a save percentage of 2.34. But when I've seen him, he looks a little shaky to me.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are more favorable to the smaller goalies because the holes are smaller. not as big of a hole when you're shooting on like a bigger goalie. But I think the size is a disadvantage for him.
Especially in the speed of the Metro Division.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? Minus the Capitals, the speed of the Metro Division is pretty up there. And he can get it done, but also he doesn't have a whole bunch of support on that secondary. Casey DeSmith, solid number 2, goals against 2.95. But the guy's 7-4. They're not utilizing him a lot. A lot of the weight's been put on Jari's shoulders. So relying on him going into the playoffs, that might be the make or break for Pittsburgh this year.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We get down here to Washington, and Washington's really on the bubble here. If they keep playing the way they're playing and the Islanders make a run, it's not unrealistic that this is the first year that Washington's out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
it could happen this year.
Yeah.
But the astonishing thing to me is, and I sent this over to you before to the boys we were talking about, is that the similarities from 2018 till now is just astonishing to me. We'll see what happens, but during the 2018 season, the Caps held a 38-23-7 record with 83 points through the first 68 games. Currently hold a record of 37-21 with 84 points through 68 games. So the similarities are very close. Goals for 203 in 18, 220 in 22. Goals against 199 in 18. Less this season actually with 195. Power play was a 21%. 21% in 18. It's 19 in 2022. So you go down the list. I mean, all of them. The penalty kill is only 1% off. The shots per game is only 28-31. A lot of similarities to 2018. So you can start to count them out based off the way they're playing. Yeah. But we know they have a great locker room. They have a good foundation. They got great leadership, and they know what it takes to win because they've done it now. Yeah. So also kind of similar, we were talking about St. Louis, a team that could come in and sneak away with maybe some wins. Yeah. It's really going to come down to goaltending. We know they can score. We know we have decent defensemen, not the fastest. We got some age back there in the blue line.
Solid,
but the goaltending is huge. Yeah. And I think we could walk into a situation that maybe V does start, and then we pull Sammy in, depending on how the first round goes, and he steals it for us.
I mean, look.
We saw it with Gruby and Holtby.
Yeah, I was going to say, flashback to 2018, Holtby was not our go-to guy. And he carried us through.
Really having some issues, mentally, just wasn't there. Gruby played a couple games. Holtby refreshed, comes back, and the boys make a run.
Two young tenders too for the Caps, not having the best. I wish you would have done more at the trade deadline as far as goaltender.
They really bought in.
Yeah, they are bought in. It's wild to think they're that pot committed on V and Sammy. I would like to see Sammy being moved. I think V does have a future. Sammy's consistent, but not enough in my opinion. But yeah, that's definitely going to be a battle for them. Like you said, hopefully they can hold on. New York's making a solid push.
Yeah, they just beat the Rangers the other night, and they've kind of trended towards having the Rangers. And that's huge. So if they were to make that wild card and maybe catch the Rangers in the playoffs, that could be a big battle.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild. So, I mean, coming to close on the Metro Division and just the divisions in general, playoff hockey's getting closer. I think we're down to, 12, 13 games for the rest of the season. When this airs, you guys will have like 10 games left. So, I mean, these last 10 games, expect some shakeups, expect some movement to be happening, and some teams there might be some upsets.
Yeah, definitely expect upsets. In the world of hockey, I've said this before, and it's one of the sports I'll never, ever bet on because you just never know any given night. A star-studded goalie could just fall flat in his face. We've seen it to where, guys that are on long point streaks just fall off the face of the earth.
Yep.
So hockey is a different breed when it comes to those things. And it's anyone's night.
Yeah, man, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us again. We're going to wrap up there. From just to touch on the beginning of the podcast, guys, don't be afraid to reach out. Friends and family. Having people you can trust and rely on is big. I'm not saying go flapping the lips at the bar. A couple beers and start spilling your problems everywhere. But definitely be able to reach out to those certain people you have. I'm blessed enough to have the circle that I have and to be able to share with the people that I can share with. So, I do consider myself lucky and blessed there, but, definitely reach out. I would rather you could call me, shoot me a message on Instagram. I don't, I'm here. We're all humans. That's all I know. We're all humans and we're all trying to navigate. We're all trying to figure it out. The last couple of years hasn't been easy on anybody, with what's going on. But, we're here for you guys. I'm glad you guys are here for us. As always, we appreciate the love.
Yep.
And, the sense of community and moving forward is really what's going to carry us to the next place.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Not only on this podcast, but as humans, as we move forward with life and navigating what life is,
Don't get too caught up on what's going on out there, because sometimes it's just a matter of just going out there in the world and taking yourself away from the news and the social media, and you'll realize there's still great people out there.
You just
there's
step
still
away
good people
just
out
a
there.
little bit, you remove yourself from a couple things, and before you know it, man, that sun's shining a little different. The warm weather's right around the corner. I know a lot of people battle with the seasonal depression and stuff like that, but that warm sun hits my skin. I got some ideas. They brew,
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes it's not about, acquiring. Sometimes it's about cutting off.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
Don't be afraid to remove things in your life to make it better. Everyone thinks that you need a bigger house. You need this, you need. Sometimes maybe you need to get rid of and subtract.
Absolutely. So, guys, we're just guys. We're a couple beer league buttes. We are men. We just kind of share, what works for us, and it might not work for you guys, but hopefully, just us being able to share with you guys, hopefully it helps something.
Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to someone. If someone's ever told you, hey, I'm always there for you, maybe shoot that text. Don't second guess yourself.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, as always,
be well, guys.
The boys from Men Behind the Mitts just want to say thanks for listening. And as always, be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media outlets at Men Behind the Mitts. Brought to you by Silky Mitts Hockey Club. Support the boys at silkymitsHC.com.